today. Another gray reminder that what used to be has gone away. It's really hard to say how long we have to live with our insanity. We have to pay for all we use. We never think before we light the fuse. Look up, look up, look up. The sky is falling. Look up, there's something that you have to do before you try to go outside to take in the view. Look up because the sky could follow you.
It's gonna be in my
Good.
head all night.
Good. I want to invade your dreams rent free.
That's a good way to invade. That's a good song.
Exactly. Good evening, UN Spacey Wolf Squad. This is your Wolf Commander Wolf 10. I am your werewolf. We have returned again to do the sequel to Macross, aka Robotech, its sister series, Southern Cross, or the Robotech Masters Saga, or the Master Saga, whatever you want to call it. I like to call it Southern Cross because that sounds cooler. We're here with, again, the Mead Goddess Janelle.
Good night, everyone, or I should say good evening, good night. I'm glad to be back. We're going to talk about my least favorite part of the series. I
Same
think
here.
everybody's least favorite part.
We're joined late with the Lady of Valor, Leia Plus Eyes.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm a little late. This is Leia Plus I should have a Lady of Valor. And again, I am a normie when it comes to I can be a good student and listen to what my teacher has to say.
Joining with us will carry us through as well, the Hound of the South, Dominic Powell.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining us in tonight's live stream as we talk about the sequel to Robotech and Macross Saga, Southern Cross.
We have our fellow mech lover as well, with the humblest of writers, Humble Marty.
Hi.
I call her that because she like Big O. With us as well, whom I'm very disappointed in, who's not watched this series, the Warrior of Light, Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Greetings to viewers and fellow Final Fantasy fans, this is Final Fantasy Fan 12 and welcome back to another live stream of the UN Spacey Wolf Squadron, and today we are back again with another anime spotlight, this time covering more Robotech stuff with Season 2 of Robotech covering Southern Cross.
Janelle, would you lead us with the synopsis of Southern Cross?
Southern Cross is an anime that you can read the synopsis on Wikipedia and then just skip right to Mospedia. I'm sorry, I hate it that much. Seriously, guys, you don't have to watch it. It's so bad. It looks cool. Okay, so remember last week I talked about the Robotech Masters.
Yep.
Kind of.
It has redeemable qualities.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I mean,
Look,
I guess maybe once you get to Sentinels.
One of these days, Dom, I'm about to clip that Shanae scene where she goes, "Oh, I'm so tired. You go up and down the hallway, talking about break it up. No fight, break it up."
Asshole.
That's right, that's why you won't mess with me, because you know what a good asshole feels like.
But look, I want to hear Dominic's side, because yes, Dominic, I really don't like Southern Cross. I feel that it didn't bring anything to the series, but it does have. It's important to the Sentinel story, which I know none of you guys have read. I guess I'm the only one here that's read it, because you find out what happened to Dana Sterling, and holy shit, it makes you want to go back to Earth and kill a bunch of people for what she went through. But Undead Yellow Dancers, Most PETA, man, that's the season afterwards. That's the other good season. See, we gotta try and convince Undead to come on for Most PETA. That would be fun because she's a Yellow Dancer stan like me.
Oh yeah, we gotta kidnap her. Humble, get the
But
body
I
back.
know I do
Why
want to
didn't you
hear
put
Dominic's
out like
reasoning.
that?
I want to hear his opinion.
Did you hear Humble's response?
I
What?
heard it. She said,
You-
okay, when Wolf said, Humble, get the body back. So when they said about to get kidnapped Undead Robin for season 3 of Robotech.
She said, "Okay."
Because she's
That
so
is not-
nonchalant with literally everything.
You know, what she reminds me of when she does a response.
But
So, this is a little quick aside. Are you guys familiar with the forger, Michael Cthulhu?
No.
He did this. He did a video with his daughter Nova, and he was gonna show her the tools of the trade of fortunes. He's this guy that forged like pop culture weapons, and he does it raw. He does like raw recordings. He doesn't do no editing or anything, but this one particular he did. And his daughter was holding up a sword. He said, I'm gonna show you how to forge things," and she was like, "I'm gonna commit major crimes with this." That's how I think of Humble.
Okay. Dominic,
Continue.
I want to hear what you think because you have been able to convince me before on a lot of stuff. So I want to hear what you have to say.
Now, look, like I'm not saying Robotech Southern Cross is my favorite. Is honestly my least favorite because yeah, as you and Wolf brought up, like objectively it didn't really bring anything new to the table. However, in spite of its flaws, it does have a few, and keyword a few redeeming qualities to it. So such as like what you brought up, like learning, like what happened to Dana Sterling, and also as well as the Sentinels, because it does lead into the better sequel of the Robotech Macross series.
Okay, yes, actually, I will agree with that. I will also say I did think the Robotech Masters looked cool because you had 3 old men, 3 punk rockers, and 3 chicks with blue hair that played a magical harp. So the Robotech Masters are from a planet called Tyrol. They're called Tyroleans. They for this show, it wasn't really explained, but the people that came, the Robotech Masters that came to Earth to try and get the SDF-1 back were in 3s. So you had 3 Robotech Masters, 3 Clone Masters, and then I forget what the 3 music. I think they were Music Masters.
Mm-hmm.
But by this point, which will be talked about in Sentinels, the SDF-1 and the SDF-2 have been completely destroyed. So they have built the SDF-3. The SDF-3 is no longer on Earth. They have left because while the Robotech Masters were coming to Earth because they found out the Zentradi lost, so they came to take care of everything and get the SDF-1 back, the humans were like, fuck you, Robotech Masters. We're coming with the Zentradi that defected to our side to come kick your ass. This is where Dana Sterling comes in. Dana Sterling is the firstborn daughter of Max and Miria Sterling. They think that this mission, I do not know what friggin' wisdom they had in their head when this went down. Let's leave our daughter on the planet because we're only going to be gone for a couple of years. Now, they should know better, especially Miria. She made that trip from Tyrol to Earth. It wasn't going to take 1 to 2 years. At the same time, yeah, there's Dana. At the same time, they made the tragic mistake of killing off Claudia Grant in the Robotech show, not the actual Macross show, but the Robotech show. So they had to introduce her brother, and I can't remember his name either, that something Grant, and his wife, and they have left their son Bowie Grant behind. And Bowie is my least favorite character. You look up the Urban Dictionary term for whiny bitch, and his picture will be right there. That's how much I hate this character. So he's left with his uncle or guardian, Ralph Emerson. Now, in the actual, this is great. In the actual anime Glory, which Southern Cross was renamed, Ralph Emerson's actually Bowie's dad. So, yeah, they take off and they leave Earth completely defenseless. Like they were not thinking at all. All that's left is the Southern Cross Cavalry to defend the planet. That Dana is in charge of one of the cavalry groups. So we come to present day. There's Earth, like I said, the SDF-1 and the SDF-2 have been completely destroyed, but there is there's where it was destroyed is now 3 little temples. And nobody goes inside because they're afraid of radiation, but it's also kind of like a spooky site. We start off with Dana Sterling, who, oh God, there was Bowie Grant. He makes me want to vomit. But let me get back to the Robotech Masters first. So the Robotech Masters are freaking out. They were able to steal protoculture from a species called the Invid, who will show up in most PETA. And how that was happened was a Robotech master named Zor seduced the Invid Regis. She changed her form to look more human because she had fallen in love with Zor. Zor was just tapping that booty because he actually wanted the secret of protoculture, which he stole. And he stole all of it, and it almost demolished the Invid. Meanwhile, the Robotech Masters are like, woohoo! We got all this stuff. We can live forever now. We can make all this technology. We're going to create this empire. We're going to be total assholes and take over everything. That's where the Zentradi come in. They were cloned. That's why they have clone masters. The Robotech Masters have not been able to breed in a long time. They're fucked. They're dying. So that's the other reason they're coming after the protoculture, because it is a last-ditch effort before their race completely is gone, just extinct. We end up in what is present-day Southern Cross, and there's Dana. Dana's 17 years old, and she has not been given the tools really to function, I guess you could say, because she's the youngest military commander there is in the Southern Cross Army at this point. So she's been forced to grow up, but she has the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old. So she's always getting into trouble. She spends a lot of time in solitary confinement. So there's Bowie Grant, who is basically, he's literally a hippie, and like, I don't want to fight wars, and I just want to be a musician, and I'm trying to remember all the like I said, I'm not going to be very good at this one. I only watched Southern Cross once because it was bad. There's Marie Crystal, who is an ace pilot. They call her the Crystal Amazon, and she really kicks ass. I'd say she's their ace. Wolf, Dominic, Marie Crystal was the ace, right? She had the most kills against the Robotech Masters.
She was a nice queen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, until Sean got into her pants.
You know, why do you have to say this?
Because that's what happened. And then she finds out okay, fast forwarding. Marie Crystal gets into a relationship with the womanizer Sean, who is also always in the brig because he likes to womanize and go out and party. And she falls in love with him, and he falls in love with her, and he actually is legit falls in love with her, but then she's told he's a womanizer, and she breaks up with him, and it screws him up for the rest of the season. And that really means that Dana has to be in charge of everything because he was the overall leader. And so Dana has all this thrust upon her. There was Nova Satori, who was basically the head military policeman. And she's always she's really strict. And like I said, she's always throwing Dana into the brig, solitary confinement for misbehaving. She goes after a lot of people. Um, oh gosh, who's the guy with the glasses that was basically the tech expert, and he was really kick-ass too. I liked him. Oh no, I need to look that up. Okay.
I'm no help. I'm sorry.
No,
Their
this
names are
one's tough
in
for
one ear out
me.
the other.
Well, this one's tough for me because I really didn't like this one. I tried, I really did. And I know most people that watch the show actually hated Dana, but I had seen and read parts of Sentinels before I got to Southern Cross because I'm one of those people that likes to jump the gun.
Dana kind of
And
grew on me, but I also
she,
remember as a kid, I remember liking this one for a time. But as an adult, my opinion changed fast. And this is my third time watching Southern Cross. And I still don't remember half these fuckers except for Dana.
I
And
remember
and that,
Dana
even at that
Bowie
time, I didn't
rolled.
even know Dana was the the daughter of Miria and Max. And I'm still tripping off the fact that, that's a thing. And I'm looking at her hair. And I'm like, so blue and green makes yellow
And now
somehow.
remember in Macross her hair was green. You
Yeah.
find out in the comic books and in Sentinels, she kept because there was the Zentradi were always kind of still looked at with fear. She started dyeing her hair blonde to look more normal. So that's why she's
Ah.
blonde. They explain it more because she was getting dirty looks. Here's the sad thing about Dana. Remember the three Zentradi guys that were the first defectors?
Mm-hmm.
They were close friends with Max and Miria Sterling. And when Max and Miria left, they became her three guardians. But because, like what happened with a lot of Zentradi, their immune system was not used to Earth. They all died one after the other quickly.
Mm.
So Dana was
Ooh.
orphaned.
Oof.
Yeah, so no, she actually was loved by the three guys. They were her three dads, basically. She was closer to them than her parents. In fact, when she meets up with her parents again, it's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm really mad at you. And she has every right to be.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did my
Um,
Max boys. They did my Max boy dirty, and I don't like that. Max is my
Yeah, I'm
favorite.
going to tell you right now, Max and Miria would not have left her behind, but they had to do something with Southern Cross. So they said that she was left behind. If you know the characters, they would have never abandoned her,
Mm-hmm.
ever. She would have been on that ship. This SDF-3 was even more fortified than the SDF-1. Just to let you guys know the scope of the difference between the SDF-1, SDF-2, and the SDF-3. The SDF-3 was built as a warship to go destroy the Robotech masters. So yeah, they were going for genocide. That ship was armed to the teeth. I mean, if you guys ever get a chance, look up what the SDF-3 is. So there was one tech guy too. Oh no,
I'm
I'm
trying to.
sorry, undead. Yeah, they die. I believe the three of them died of cancer because their immune systems and everything just could not keep up with Earth. Yeah, no, I was upset when I read about that in the book too. I was heartbroken. Um,
I will be too.
yeah, I mean, because I was like, where the fuck are they? Why haven't they mentioned them at all? And then it was mentioned in Sentinels. Because at least in the show Southern Cross, they did mention other people from the past, but they never mentioned those three guys. And then you find out in Sentinels why. So there's a
Ooh.
Dana gets pulled out of the brig because there's a battle. They also their mechs I didn't like either. Well, I didn't like the
Same.
tank part, but when it turned into the armor, it looked cool. But not when they were in the stupid little square tanks. It literally
Oh
looked like
god.
something that would you make in
Ooh.
Minecraft.
It looked like a children's toy.
Yeah, they were called
Yeah.
Pegasus tanks, and they sucked.
Nothing on that tank screams Pegasus.
I
They
know.
barely even they barely even had a second feature transformation, a second form. I think they only had two modes, and they recycled the animation for that. one too many times.
Okay.
You
I'm
got
reading
that
it right now. The reason the Pegasus tank was the Dr. Emil Lang had designed them to create mecha based off of it. Yeah, so that's all they have on it. They don't
Uh
explain why.
oh.
Anyway, yeah.
Uh
Because I'm on the
oh no.
Robotech wiki right now.
Robots. Lots of robots.
So the Robotech map, going into a little bit of the past more, Zor realized he made a crazy mistake because the Robotech masters were basically enslaving the galaxy. So he takes off with the SDF-1. They catch up to him, they kill him, but he's able to get the SDF-1 off, and that's how the SDF-1 travels through space and crash lands on Earth because he doesn't think and they're going to go to Earth. Well, he's dead, but they decide to make a clone of him. And the
Well,
first major
shit.
battle you see in the first episode, Zor comes wandering out of the battlefield out of his mech that's been destroyed, and he has amnesia. So, in a very weird move, they're like, oh, hey, we've got this Robotech master. Let's take him back to our Earth base and interrogate him. And instead, they just, let's have him acclimate and kind of introduce them to Earth culture. And yeah, so they stupidly let in a Robotech master with amnesia who could just turn around and kill them all and steal the protoculture back, because this is Zor's clone. So he's been programmed to get the protoculture back, but he took damage during his battle and now has amnesia.
I think
So
I'm on that part.
what? Oh,
I
that
think I'm on
part.
that.
So Dana and Nova Satori take it upon themselves to teach him about Earth and its culture, and he's kind of like the guy that's on the outside, doesn't really get it, not a real good tactical decision. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead, Dominic.
This whole series before
no,
Dom
I'm
goes,
just-
before
yep.
Dom goes, this whole series is things happen because people are dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also like it goes against like everything that happened in the previous series. Like, they would not act this way.
No, yeah, that's one reason I think a lot of people have a problem with Southern Cross, is because the rewrite, but nothing makes sense. You would not leave Earth undefended, knowing that the Robotech masters are out there, knowing that because Britai and Exodor told them they're coming. They're coming for you. And so why would they leave with their great battle fortress and like, oh, we're going to go to their planet instead, and instead, fortify Earth and the solar system, so by the time they get there, they can wipe out their armada. But no, let's take off to Earth, just like Max and
Hello?
Miria.
Hello? Anybody home? Think, McFly. Think.
Exactly.
It's like that dumbass ending sting of Independence Day Resurgence and Pacific Rim Uprising. We're gonna take the fight to them. Bitch, you're not prepared.
I did not
You
see either
haven't.
one of those.
You haven't even
We
made
also talk about
preparations
the
to. Fuck off with that. We're taking the fight to the. Man. Oh, don't get me started.
Look,
Don't
But
get me
it's
started.
stupid.
No. Listen, we're gonna keep the stream focused. But the last thing
Right,
we're gonna
right,
say is
right.
that objectively, those two movies are examples of what not to do with sequels. All right, we're gonna end it there.
All
Damn
right.
right we are.
So, like I said, I don't remember much of this show because I only watched it once, because I've already pointed out so many flaws. So I'm going to basically do a long story short, and then you guys can do the fill-in. They keep battling the Masters. The Masters are starting to panic. Bowie falls in love with one of the three musical girls, and they run away. He goes AWOL.
Musical girls.
He abandons his friends because he is a pacifist
Oh,
in the middle of a
hate for that.
friggin' war with the Robotech masters, where the world is. Remember, Earth got glassed twice during Macross. Okay, it
Mm-hmm.
just started rebuilding, and it is getting glassed again because they're in siege tactics at this point. And here's the thing: you know they're going to lose. They know they're going to lose. They're not going to win. They're in a desperate situation. So what does Bowie do? Throw a fucking temper tantrum because his parents abandoned him. Abandon the guy who is his guardian, abandon his squad when they need him the most, and runs off with one of the musical girls, which screws that it does kind of screw with the Robotech masters because the musical girls cannot work together unless the three of them are working on that mystical harp. And I can't remember what that harp does. It was really stupid. But yeah, that's one reason. Bowie Grant, all he does is bitch, and then he goes AWOL and abandons his squad. Leaves, so they're missing somebody now. You've got Sean, who now at this point is absolutely devastated because he's fallen in love, but the woman he's fallen in love with has rejected him, so he can no longer function as the leader of the overall army. You have Marie Crystal, their ace, who is also shattered from the relationship because the two of them never get back together and work it out because they're fucking dumb. If they would have just worked it out, there would be no problems. And, morale wouldn't be sinking. Dana, 17-year-old Dana, who has major abandonment issues, has the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old, but had to grow up, is now having to lead the charge while keeping an eye on Zor, who she has fallen in love with.
Oh, I hate that too.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, though. Zor reciprocates. He fell in love with Dana, too.
I know,
Yeah,
but
I
I
like
still
when
hate
they
that.
had her grow up, they showed older Dana. She looks fantastic. She turns out to be very beautiful.
I agree.
And more mature.
Yeah.
And I want to say,
Mew-
here's the thing that kills me. Here's the thing that kills me about this series. This series takes every opportunity to get Dana naked.
I forgot about that. There's a lot of shower scenes, isn't that? Yeah, that's right. There's a lot of shower scenes.
With her. There's even a
Yes.
scene where she's checking her body in the nude, checking her waist size, basically trying trying to make sure she maintains her figure because she's boy crazy it seems. And I'm like, bitch, do you really need to get naked for that? You could just
Yeah.
wear a tank top and some tight pants and look at your midriff right then and there.
Yeah.
Why do you need to be fully naked to measure your waist size? There was one time I was looking away, and I was checking some stuff out. Right now, I look up. Why is this bitch naked and checking her waistline? Seriously, show focus. Look, I'm okay with naked women in anime. All right, time and place.
Agreed. The Min-Mei scene was a good time and place. Only happened once. Oh, here's something very important. The reason the Robotech masters are also freaking out and trying to get to the protoculture, because, I said they're going to die if they don't get to it. The protoculture is on the verge of blooming. Once it blooms, it is useless because it's going to spread its seeds. Here's the thing. Once the seeds hit the atmosphere, they will go into outer space and it will alert the Invid. Now, the Invid were a very peaceful race until what Zor did to the Regis. They are now a psychotic, warlike race. Think about the best way to, this is a example. The Kawati and the Kree, the Skrulls found the Kawati and the Kree. And the Kree were an asshole warlike race. Those are your Robotech masters, and the Kawati are kind of like the humans. the Skrulls were very peaceful. This is what the Invid were. But when the Kree betrayed the Skrulls and screwed them over and took all of their technology and left them destitute, the Skrulls became a warlike race. That's what happened here. So the Invid went from being a very peaceful, loving race who were really good at bioorganic technology, especially with plant life, are now on a rampage. And it's so bad that the Regis split herself into two beings, the female Regis and the male Regent. And this will come into play with the next season, but it's important because they talk about them in the show. So the Robotech Masters are also trying to make sure that the Invid don't hunt them down, because they're toast if the Invid hunt them down. They have no choice or no chance. Like, they're done. And what do you think happens? So Zor gets his memory back and decides, yeah, fuck their programming, kisses Dana goodbye, tells her that he loves her, and goes and sacrifices himself to take out the Robotech Masters. But it's too late. The protoculture bloomed. The Invid are on their way, and the Invid will do just as much damage as the Zentradi did. Now, like I said, that is pretty much the gist of it. They're side stories. I really don't understand the point of Nova Satori. I'm sure in the original anime, before it was rewritten, her part was more important. But honestly, to the overall storyline, it's like, no, she's the MP that has a problem with Dana Sterling and arrests her all the time. And that's pretty much Southern Cross, guys. It's a huge disappointment, but when it's fleshed out in Sentinels, a lot more stuff is explained, but I don't want to go into Sentinels because that's honestly a 2-hour show. Because there is so much explained, and I wish Carl Masick was able to do Sentinels, because it would have made Southern Cross look better in hindsight. But I will say that Dana really is a tragic character. Her parents are shit, because this is a spoiler. While they're in outer space, they decide to have another kid. They abandoned Dana and then had another kid. Yeah. Does that sound like Max and Myria to you guys?
Nope.
Yeah. No. In Sentinels, when the whole shit with Harmony Gold came up and they started losing license to certain things, they had to change things around. When they did the Shadow Chronicles, they introduced Dana's sister, who is an ace pilot. And half of the fleet decides to come back to Earth because they realize the Invid are coming. And Bowie, Dana, Marie, all those guys survive. And Dana comes up on the ship, and her sister introduces herself and is like so happy to see her. And Dana just looks at her and gets this really cold look and walks away. And her sister goes to follow her, and her friends close ranks, and they're like, fuck off. And then she starts bitching. She has no idea what I've been through. And they're like, she was abandoned by your parents. She just lost the love of her life, and she just lost a major battle, and the Invid have invaded Earth. You need to check yourself. And for the rest of the comics in the Shadow Chronicles, her sister is pissed because Dana won't give her the time of day and forgive her and her parents. Meanwhile, she also gets pissed because Dana overtakes her as the ace pilot for killing Haydenites. It's fantastic. And Dana takes all her anger and rage and becomes this hardcore pilot. But at the cost, she has lost all of her emotions. She has shut everybody out. Remember, Dana's very cheerful. She no longer smiles. Her eyes don't shine. She has no sense of humor. She barely talks. Anytime her sister enters a room, Dana will leave. Dana hates her parents and hates her sister, and her sister's behavior of like, it's not my fault, it's not our parents' fault, makes Dana hate her more. And it also makes the guys, the rest of the Southern Cross crew will also get on the ass. Like I said, this comes up in Sentinels. The rest of the Southern Cross crew that survived gets on the ass of the SDF-3 crew and said, "Why the fuck did you leave us with a token military when you knew the Robotech Masters were coming? Why? You should have stayed here." And it's, well, we thought we could stop them before they came. So yeah, like I said, things get explained. Alois, I have not reread the Titan version. I think the Titan I have read some of the ones with Dana, if that's the Shadow Chronicle ones you're talking about. I don't mind as long as they're lore accurate, but since I think it was Tommy Yoon was the guy that took over and changed everything, Steve and I we were done. We walked away. So yeah, like I said, I could spend 2 hours. We'd have to do that show like on a Friday night for me to explain the entire history of Sentinels and the Shadow Chronicles. But I think it would please everybody. I think it would please everybody very much.
Will it be next year?
It'll have to be next year because I know you guys have stuff lined up. Honestly, if you guys want to try and do it during like Thanksgiving or during the winter break from school, because then I won't have to get up at 6:30
I
in the
would
morning.
be away for the month of December.
Okay. Yeah, well,
so we'll have to do
maybe
it
on
somewhere
a
in
Friday.
January or March. If we go next year, I mean.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, like I said, but if for a Sentinels episode, you would really want me to do that on a Friday, or we would
Sentinels,
have to do it.
we would need a lot of time to watch that too.
There's only the first 2 episodes available. The Sentinels, you actually have to read the comics and the novels. And yes, we have them all. And yes, I have not read all the comics, but that's because I read all the novels. And so the novels go even more in depth than the comics.
What about the series itself, though?
Oh, the cartoon? The animation, they ran out of money, so they only did the first 2 episodes of Sentinels. That was it. And my husband has it on VHS, and we don't have a VCR, so we can't rewatch it again. You might be... Actually, you know what, guys? Check YouTube. Look for Robotech, the Sentinels original series, and you'll find the first 2. It introduces 2 new characters. One of them that really sucks, and I wanted to lay her out flat because she is such a cunt. And guess what her name is, guys? Guess what her name is? Karen!
Oh, no. I think I know who you...
blonde! She fucking sucks.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that short red hair bitch.
No.
No.
Let me look it up. Robotech Sentinels Karen. I fucking hate her. Karen Penn.
I don't know why would that make me laugh.
But she acts like a friggin' Karen in the novels. Whenever somebody says something she doesn't like, and I mean, it's innocuous.
I guess she lives up to her name.
Yeah, she literally tries to knock them out because she doesn't like what you're saying. Just like Karen.
Tell me she says, "Let me speak to your manager."
No, but she does say, "I'm going to speak to your commanding officer."
Oh no.
So somewhat of a yes.
Yeah. I'm not joking. Look up.
Now, can you please help us?
And can you please back up out my damn face? Okay, just back up, okay? I don't like you anyway, and you know that.
Karen the Punchable!
Jerk.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And just like Karen, she treats her love interest like shit and walks all over him, and it makes me lose a lot of respect for him throughout the series. It's like, dude, you can do better, man.
It's always the number 2 when it comes to a lot of franchises. There's always the number 2 that's always the black sheep. Like Super Mario 2, Zelda 2, The Adventures of Link, Final Fantasy 2, this one.
Don't even bring in Ray Hunter, cause in the later series, he's nowhere to be seen, and they hyped him up towards the end of that series, which I'm getting ahead of myself saying that, but like, yeah, we'll cross that bridge.
Oh, I am just Rick Hunter was one of my favorite characters, and in Sentinels, you watch a guy that's been corrupted with power, and also I don't want to say corrupted with power. It isn't really corruption. The popular guy, the hot, good-looking popular guy, is getting older and can't handle the fact that he's not the young popular guy anymore, and he takes it out on his wife, Lisa.
Like Hank Pym.
Yeah, well, no, he doesn't hit her or anything, but he's just a dick.
I'm talking about animated Ultimate Avengers Hank
Oh,
Pym,
okay.
where he just
Wait, Ultimate
emotionally
Avengers,
abuses
Hank
her.
Pym beat the shit out of Janet. I remember, was
I'm
it
talking about the
comics?
animated version though, who
Oh, okay.
emotionally abuses her, verbally abuses her.
Gotcha. Because, look, I remember
They
that.
toned that motherfucker down in the animated movies.
Yeah.
No, Scott Bernard does actually come in contact with Rick Hunter and Sentinels. They're all on the SDF-3. The group that was sent back to Earth and then finds out the Invid effed them up, grab the survivors and haul ass back to the SDF-3. So Scott Bernard does eventually meet with Rick Hunter. Okay. Oh, Alois, and I will check that out at my local comic book store because I'm actually very curious now. Now, this has to do with Robotech, but it is a side note. Did any of you guys read the alternate universe comic that came out where Voltron and Robotech were in the same universe?
Never caught
I
on.
actually read
Never
And
along.
knew that.
instead of Roy Fokker dying, it was Rick Hunter, and it like turns Roy back into an
Shit.
alcoholic. Yeah, like a lot of the people that died or didn't have bigger roles in Robotech have bigger roles. The whole story follows Roy Fokker as he tries to get his shit back together after Rick Hunter died and he became an alcoholic. And yeah, I mean, I heard mixed things about it. I don't know. That's why I was asking if any of you guys had read it.
I'm kind of new to the Robotech thing.
You should watch all of it, Marty. Oh my gosh, you'd love it. So it's fun. It's fun. It's got good, cheesy
Watch
80s-ness to
Macross
it.
and skip to Sentinels.
That's why I said, I mean, if you want to get the full experience, watch Southern Cross. If you don't, go to the Robotech wiki or go on to Wikipedia itself and read about it.
That's a lot of homework you're giving her.
A lot of what?
Homework.
Oh, well, if she goes onto the Wikipedia page, the actual just Wikipedia, she'll get a good Cliff's Notes. It will be quick for her.
Yeah, I usually
honest,
go with the Cliff Notes.
yeah. Like I said, you're not missing much, and I really wish that Carl Masick would have done a little bit more research before he picked up Southern Cross as the second, what's it called? Second season for the rewrite, because it made no sense. I honestly feel that they should have just started Sentinels right after the first season of Robotech. But I don't know why. I guess because it was just cheaper and easier at that point to mash together 3 separate animes that had nothing to do with each other except that they were transformable mech anime.
That could be the reason.
How would have ran Southern Cross? I would, if we were going with tanks, I would specifically go with tank warfare, much like in World War II and World War One, where they have to rely, if they have to rely so much on their ground based armor, they'll have to go gorilla that shit in a way to the point where they have to outfight them while doing their damnness to contact SDF-3.
The
The urgency should have been should not to be understanding or trying to figure out what is it that they're dealing with. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, look into that eventually because right now you are being invaded. What you should be focusing on is evacuating people, digging in, and getting into guerrilla warfare with these guys, while at the same time radioing your 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 main military that abandoned you on the planet.
one thing that's actually good. I would go with that too. I would just make one change to it. I would have none of the characters related to anybody on the SDF-3.
Nope.
It's okay to not have your characters be related because then it wouldn't make Max and Miria look so awful. It wouldn't make the Grant family look so awful. These are the guys that have been left behind to do the evacuation effort.
You can even say
Well,
it's a repeat of what happened in the first half of the story of Macross, where there were warring tribes. I'm using that in air quotes, by the way. Warring tribes on the planet trying to claim the SDF-1, but they have to come together this time once again to defend their land, defend their home. And yes, nobody related, and lets them not be sitcom kids.
yes. I mean, that was the
I mean,
thing.
here's the thing where people keep fucking up at when it comes to using teenagers as child soldiers or just cadets and all that and the like. The problem is that they're too busy thinking that they're writing what they think teenagers and how teenagers react and act. I don't think they ever talk to soldiers that were kids at one point fighting a war. You know, those
Like
who were either conscripted or enlisted and the like. You know,
I think they could have done it in a way saying that, they're trying the evacuation efforts, but they're so desperate for bodies they have to conscript teenagers at this point. And
only
that's where you could have them still have teenager behavior, but also really emphasize like these kids are having to grow up when they shouldn't
hmm
have to. Because they could also say that the space UN Spacey and the SDF-3 made a major mistake. They underestimated the Robotech Masters' reaction to this and then overestimated their own technological defense, and that could be the whole thing. Like they've made a grave mistake. And now, time's ticking because you've got not just the Robotech Masters coming, but then the SDF-3 finds out, oh shit, the Invid are coming too. So and they would make it like an Empire Strikes Back, and that would have been fantastic. Because they're going to lose, and you realize they have made this grave mistake, which really makes most PETA important because now they got to send in a surgical strike team to try and get people out and start guerrilla warfare against the Invid. And then also show how burnt out the survivors on Earth are. Because they do show that in most PETA. They don't want to fight the Invid anymore. They'd rather be enslaved because they are so tired of alien invasions and watching the Earth get blasted over and over and over. And they are worn out.
see, Leia, I don't understand why you don't get into anime already. It's fun. It tells good stories. It tells really good, interesting stories in an Eastern lens, but it has very American ties as well.
I'm sure it does from what I'm listening to what you're
She's not
saying.
impressed.
No, I get what you're saying. I do. It's just a genre that I just have not developed a passion for. Maybe in the future, for what you all have told me, maybe Western storytelling is just not my cup of tea. It doesn't mean it isn't good.
Western?
You said this was a Western. It was American stories told with a Western flair. Did you not say something
No, it's
like
got
that?
No,
Eastern.
Eastern.
no,
Eastern.
Eastern.
Eastern. My mistake. Tells you how much I know, but I'm learning. I'm learning. So it has an Eastern take on it, and this is nothing new. Anime has always been a genre I've been slow to catch on to. So I totally believe what you all are saying. I just have not gotten around to, even if I have seen some movies, the passion for it just is not as there as maybe the rest of you have. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to bring down your passion for it because I have not developed the passion for it that you
Oh,
all
you
have.
haven't.
Well, wait, Undead actually brings up a good point. Leia, if you do want to start with anime that is way more Western flair than Eastern flair, Undead recommends Project A-ko or Vampire Hunter D. Project A-ko is literally the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman trying to be a normal schoolgirl, but weird shit keeps happening to her and her best friend. And literally, there is a girl at school who you kind of get the idea that she is Lex Luthor's daughter. Now, this is literally how it was written. It was, what if Superman and Wonder Woman had a daughter and was trying to have a normal life at high school? Her best friend is an alien princess from another planet, and her rival at school is Lex Luthor's daughter. It is friggin' hysterical. And then Vampire Hunter D is
She's seen it.
Western. Okay, yeah, that's Western vampire storytelling with an
She's seen
Eastern flair.
Bloodlust mostly. We're working up to pick a day where we talk about the first Vampire the D animated.
By the way, did you guys know that Project A-ko was originally supposed to be a hentai, but then they changed their mind? There's only one scene in
title
it that
sounds
was
like
left
it.
from the hentai, and it's so tame that there's no sex in it or anything. It's when the Lex Luthor's
Oh
daughter
God.
Biko is swimming around in the pool naked. That was it. But yeah,
Oh
it was
God.
originally
I
animated
I
as a hentai.
I hesitate to have them watch Kite.
Oof. You can get Kite censored. They cut out those scenes.
I know.
Thank you, Samuel Proctor. I'm glad I'm not alone. Not just you guys, but he said a comment earlier, and it's good to know I'm not alone there. I didn't mean to step on you guys' groove. You had a good groove going. I just had to
So
respond to the
Janelle, you about
comment.
to take off now? I think it's a
Yeah,
good
I do
time
have
to
to say,
stop a stop point here.
well, I just want to say, Undead, yes, Biko doing the whole notice me senpai thing throughout Project A-ko is fucking hysterical. She even makes that sexy armor suit. Shows that's such a good anime. Okay, yes,
Well,
I do have to go. I stayed 15
before
minutes over.
you go, here's a treat:
Oh my goodness.
green eggs and
Yes,
ham.
I know. I need to dig through and find it, and then I'll take pictures and put it on Discord. I have
Don't worry,
proof.
I got some for the guys.
Good grief.
And we can't leave Leia out.
Oh,
And
I
think
knew.
Humble
No, I
likes cat
know he was going
girls.
to throw it in there somewhere.
Yay!
Oh, I love Outlaw Star. God, it's so good.
I should invite you for the Outlaw Star, and here's for something for
Outlaw
Neo.
Star was my gateway drug to anime.
Oh, is it really?
Yay!
Well, Joss Whedon's Firefly ripped off Outlaw Star.
Yes, it did.
Fuck that guy.
Yep.
When I started watching Outlaw Star, I was like, what the hell, dude? And
You can wake up now, Final.
Final found it.
long story
Final
short,
has the
yeah,
perfect
that was
response.
a complete ripoff.
He's not looking.
I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy is literally Kitty Pryde. He even said, yeah, I just took Kitty Pryde and made her into Buffy.
Yeah, I agree.
A lot of people say that
Blame Samuel.
You were saying Final?
a lot of people say that Firefly is a ripoff to Cowboy Bebop because when you think about it,
No,
No,
not even
it's
close.
Outlaw Star to a T. It's wild. It's like episode
If you
scene for scene.
when you really boil down to it, it steals a lot of the Taoism that I believe Allah Star borrows from into
Mm-hmm.
Firefly, more so than Cowboy Bebop, which Cowboy Bebop is mostly focused on Buddhism. If you really want a good comparison to Cowboy Bebop, damn, know I found something that was close enough. I guess you could kind of say Space Sweepers is it comes close.
What in the world is Samuel Proctor talking about? I'm sorry. Let's go with the Leo Bible. This is a week. Huh? What the? Okay,
oh
I'm sorry.
Just
great.
enough to fit a Bible between you and Cap. Like they used to do at the school dances back in the old days.
Oh God. Oh God. Come on, Samuel Proctor. Have more faith in me. Wolf stuff.
Here, another
Okay. I'm sorry.
climax.
Yeah,
Pump your irons, ladies. Pump your irons. So you can have a strong back for that bed.
I didn't mean to interrupt, but I saw Sam was reading Samuel's comment like, Bible, what? Oh, come on, Samuel. You have faith in me.
I'm surprised you were able to read his stuff without getting distracted.
Well, I was listening to her, but then I was looking at I saw my name in the comment. I'm like, what is he talking about? And then I read the whole thing like, huh? Fight! I hope that's a good book.
One
I
more.
hope it's a good book. Wolf.
Well, Lay, you sound like you got a dry throat. You look a little bit thirsty.
You,
So here's some water.
All right, guys, I have to go. Thank you for having
Well,
me on
let's start
tonight.
signing out anyways because
Okay.
I did not expect this to be a short stream, but you know what? Let's go with that. This is usually supposed to be the format we're supposed to stream Anime Spotlight on. We usually go at least like close to 50 minutes, but yeah, let's get you back to your bow. So like thank you for being here. Those 8 of you, shockingly. And those
Yeah.
and those nines just the motherfuckers that keep popping in and out. I know I'm not helping, god damn it. Sorry, Monticelli.
see.
And yet you call yourself a leader?
Hey, I lead you guys. Don't you dare doubt my leadership. I got this. I don't know. That ain't Chris Evans. That was Chris Hemsworth. Wrong Chris, undead. Anyways, thank you everybody for being here and welcome back Sam Proctor, guys. He's been gone for 2 years. We've been asking about him for a long time, wondering where he showed up because a lot of our usual viewers hasn't been showing up lately. And Samuel was a very advent participant in our streams since the jump. Since
Yay,
we joined,
welcome back. Sorry.
yeah, and sadly, some of our heads have changed. We no longer have Trooper FN 2525 with us. He's got his own work schedule. Our usual favorite Schooner Tuna has no longer been with us because work got in the way. Brian Yomar cannot attend because of time change on my part, unfortunately. And Owen, well, Owen's Owen. So no telling what he's been doing lately. I have to get into contact with him. So Samuel, yes, a lot. You got a lot to catch up, dude. Lots to catch up to see where things have gone and see how things are going as of today. Anyways, I'd like to thank our Mead Goddess Janelle for leading us through.
Thank you for having me on tonight. I know this was a very short one, but honestly, that was really all you can say about Southern Cross. There's not much meat on the bones of the story, but it was fun hanging out. I had a good time. It was nice to talk to everybody in chat and on panel. and lovely Britai, my favorite character in his Speedo.
I'm just gonna leave that up there.
Dude, seriously?
This is for the ladies. Everybody always bitching about the male gaze. We got the female gaze. The females have been starved of their gaze, okay? I'm just trying to deliver. Am I not a generous wolf? Thank you for your fans. Oh my goodness. Undead, we gotta kidnap you and put you on the panel. You got some great
Again,
quips.
why
Why do you resort to kidnapping?
say that?
Because we're the Dinobots of our counter narrative group. And that's what we do.
It would be
For
fun to
fun.
have Undead on. I'm
Well-
telling you what, she is one of the most fun people I've ever played a role-playing game with.
Oh, I heard.
Dude, she's amazing. Undead, I love playing.
Let me sign everybody out
role-playing games
because
with
I know
you.
you're big on time. The humblest of Mart. Wow.
The humblest of martyrs, humble writer.
Yeah.
The humblest of
I'm right
writers,
here.
the
sorry.
humblest of writers, humble Marty.
Hello, and I keep interrupting too much. I hope you guys all have a pleasant day.
I gave her too much of my Kool-Aid.
The humblest of Marty's humble writer.
Didn't think you had it in your funnel. You made humble laugh the hardest this time. First time was
Well,
Leia.
because of your verbal flub.
No, it's because Leia. What? Who is
Because
this?
of your
What?
sounds like Titus
Inside
slap
joke, Janelle, by the way.
I figured.
You have to go on Eloise's channel to take a look at that YouTube short that she made out of that one stream.
And I did clip that in that exact stream too.
Yeah.
There's a timestamp in that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'll share it with you. Anyways, the Warrior of Light Final Fantasy Fan 12.
Well, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so... Oh, no, sorry, it's just a delay. Anyways, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like what you saw, click like and subscribe and share with your family and friends. And make sure to ring that notification bell. That way you get notified of our latest videos. Go subscribe to 1210 Media if you haven't already. Go subscribe to me if you haven't already. And be sure you stay tuned in late September on my channel, as I'll be doing Final Fantasy Roll Season 1 covering the Monk class. And also somewhere around that time will be a live stream of me analyzing the Famicom to Super Famicom era logos for Final Fantasy. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Final Fantasy Fan 12 signing off, and remember, may the light forever shine upon us.
The Hound of the South, Donick Powell. Wake up,
Thank you everybody
Dominic.
for joining us in tonight's live stream as we talk about the season of Upper Cross. And even though like it's really not the best of sequels, and it shows like clear examples of what not to do at least with the next season it somewhat redeems it. But if there are any other series that you'd like us to discuss in the future, make sure you put them down in the comments section, and also like, share, and subscribe to World 10 Media's channel. This is the Hound South Dong Paul signing off, the secondary optimist of the bunch, and remember to keep up the good fight and keeping hope, idealism, and optimism alive in the world.
The lovely Leia of our Leia plus size.
Good evening, everyone. This is Lev Plus Size, your lovely lady of valor. This has been a very interesting conversation about anime. I've learned a lot. If there is any other topics or genres you would like for us to rant about, please leave it in the comments below. I am sure Wolf will very much appreciate it. We're always open to new genres, or maybe some genres you feel that do not get enough attention. So we thank you for joining us today, and have a good evening, and hope to see you again on Thursday.
It's not always a rant, Leah.
Well, I don't mean that in a negative sense. I mean it in more of we have fun with it. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. I have to find another synonym for rant.
The humble star that shines through the night, the technical difficulties that disrupt your program. Rise, our Marty stands before you. Rise up, bop! Rise up, bop! I'm not gonna do that fake Chinaman talk.
Oh, we like that. Okay, I have
Spinning
to.
Wolf Commander Wolf 10 remind you guys once again, you are the UN Spacey. Welcome to the Wolf Fleet.
I want to listen to the radio.
Don't!